Eat the clock. Tick, 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 tick. What, did he want to bounce? Or they call timeout?
I gotta call timeout.
Okay. I was going to end his life if he called a timeout. Or if he ran out of bounds.
Good job.
New TV stand is maybe in order. Or maybe a little bit. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It just kind of looks like that belongs in like a dining room. Maybe not a living room. But Paulie told me that was 70 inches, and I told him, listen, piss out of my ass, that's 70 inches. There's no way.
What, the TV?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 70.
It looks like 6, like, you know, I was thinking like 60, 65. He's like, that was how big the old one was. That's for peasants.
The other one's pretty big.
But,
Imagine playing Warzone on this.
oh, dude. I might be able to kill somebody on a TV this big. Because you can see the entire map in one TV. The entire map is at your disposal. But I'm that bad, though. I don't think you understand how bad I am at Warzone.
Do you have it on your
my
ship?
drink.
No. What'd you lose, Paulie?
There it is. Somebody hit that shit on me.
Cry me. What are we doing?
Oh, are you watching the fight tonight?
Can you get it on here?
Probably stream it somewhere.
Don't listen. The last time you tried to, explain streaming to Paulie, he didn't know what was going on.
I don't want to hear it.
Alright.
Don't need to hear.
Alright, this is what I want you to do, though. If granted, streaming, we're planning on for that, right? For them not to be at your house.
Correct.
But anything's possible. You got to set up a spot for us to do the live stream in that room, preferably.
Oh, God, in the spare room?
I mean, is it impossible?
It's dead to rights.
I don't know when we're going to go live then. It's going to be too loud everywhere else, unless we turn the TV off out in the middle of the room. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know.
You know, just for shits and giggles, just put a towel down, tip it upside down. And then you got a towel.
So you want it screened down?
Yeah, just flip the bitch right out. Set it right down there. See what's going on here. Let the doctor look at it.
Holes for screws.
You know the other piece that was down there, John?
Yeah.
That little thing? That's a little bitty stand for a big ass TV though.
I'll go grab that.
Oh, boy, sweetie.
Oh boy. Very much a cup on. Yeah, she even said kick. She said punch.
No, boy, it was going to be a full bore punch. Touchdown.
Oh, Devontae Adams. Oh, baby.
Here's the problem, though.
I don't like that.
Look where there's only one plug there in the whole entire room.
Well, that's where you get a extendo.
So I got the.
All you need is one.
I got the strip right there.
How many plugs are you using right there?
2.
Yeah, she just used that bitch in there if you need no plugs.
For Devontae Adams, who is as good as anyone in the league in the red zone, and proves it right there. Mason Crosby on for the extra point.
So-
J.K. Scott to hold.
So I couldn't figure out how to change the colors and shit like that when it wasn't working. When I come home and the TV's fucking blue.
Oh, the LEDs behind it?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't fucking do that.
Yeah, that's light.
Second extra point miss.
He missed that? Oh.
Oh my god, they're so good.
That's why we use only whole avocados to make our guacamole fresh every day.
Chipotle.
Real
Like, I hate guacamole.
real flavor. Chipotle.
I can't fucking stand it.
Chipotle or guacamole?
Guacamole, I can't fucking stand it.
You tried it though.
Oh, I've given it probably 15 college tries. It's so gross to me. I'd rather lick a rock, I think, than eat a spoonful of guacamole.
See, I just can't ride that bus.
And I don't expect anybody to. I probably have the least popular opinion when it comes to guacamole. But I think a big part of it is the way it looks.
Or where you go.
Like, I'm a big, my food's gotta look like food. If it looks like something that came out of my ass or I'm throwing up, then I'm out.
With available H-Trap all
Really?
time.
Without even really giving it a try.
But it's still like creamy. It's like creamy looking. It's like almost like ice cream.
Guac. I haven't tried down in Mexico. And still good. Still couldn't do it. Oh, dude, the fucking Saints, the under hit.
Athletic training staff very slowly.
I was watching that game.
Fucking under hit.
To the tent, he gets rolled
Under
up.
36.
Blocking action.
Yeah, they scored 34 points.
David Bakhtiari.
They scored 31, and
So Elton Jacobs
Denver kicked the field goal.
You know what I want to know? I want to know who's making the call on an over, an under, even a spread. How is that executive decision being made?
like, is there a room full of people? Is there one person? Is there two people?
Right, is there like a select amount of people? Is there people from all over the country making that call?
Like what casino makes the final verdict out of what it's going to be? One of them's going to have to.
I feel like some, based on the casino, they vary, but it's within a couple points. It's not like a drastic difference.
We need to get like an inside track on a casino.
This is 2nd and 8. And here is Rodgers.
Go, 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 go! Oh shit. Points every single time this year.
Plant protein from wonderful pistachios.
But you can't. If the computer says you can, I guess you can, but
Get 30 to 50% off everything and find deals like this 10-carat diamond bracelet and more.
yeah, it's over my pay grade.
Shop online with the
Way over mine.
Zales.
Damn, a tall boy Budweiser. What inspired this choice?
It's in my garage. Picked it up.
There you go.
I was like, this has got the beeper man's name on it.
Just Sharpie right on it.
I mean, without it actually being there, it's on there as much as it can be.
It's on there without infringing on copyright and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Well, yeah, copyright's on our end, right?
For sure.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. What are we talking about in this podcast?
Okay. I think this might be kind of a long podcast.
You think so?
Yeah.
How long are we talking? 45?
I think we talk about Thanksgiving Day
This
games.
has been a little different at 1101 Russell Street. this
Start on Thanksgiving. Oh, hey, how was everyone Thanksgiving? You know, the old bullshit, small talk like that. Then we go into
This one has heated seats.
the games.
This one,
Michigan State's
mile high chairs.
phenomenal weekend. Basketball beat Notre
This
Dame.
one's open.
Listen, everyone's saying hockey beat Ohio State. I don't give a fuck about Michigan State hockey. That doesn't excite me in the least amount. Football beat Northwestern. The college games on Saturday.
Notre Dame.
What's that?
State beat Notre
State beat Notre Dame, absolutely. Talk about today's games. Oh, talk about the Tyson fight. Talk about how Nate Robinson should probably just kill himself after he just got knocked out like that on, in front of the whole entire world.
At least give up on boxing.
Huh?
At least give up on boxing.
I mean, I don't see how Nate Robinson can step out into public and just not get roasted by everybody. I mean, he got knocked the fuck right out.
I think the worst part of it is, I don't know if it was before or after the fight, but there's a picture of Jake Paul wearing a Nate Robinson jersey.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a kick in the nuts or not, but I don't see how it really can't be.
So I think we talked about the fight.
I know you want to do the Christmas movies.
Then I think we hit on today's games and the Christmas movie. I mean, that's a loaded podcast.
Yeah, it is. I think we stick with that. Maybe deviate, get in the weeds a little bit,
Yeah.
in some places, but not too much. Literally, try, or hopefully we can try to stick to the script as much as possible.
For sure.
Get in the weeds a little bit. It's fine, as long as it's benefiting the conversation. I feel like it can't work against us.
Yeah, so I think, and then I think we talked about when we're talking about Michigan State. Now we're playing Duke on Tuesday.
That's definitely a topic of discussion.
That'll be a good game. That'll be a really good game.
I don't think Duke has a really good team this year.
Find out.
I mean, they usually always do, but
We'll find out. I mean, go ahead and ask Brady. Brady probably knows everybody on the entire roster.
Dude, let's talk about that. What the fuck? You see him
like,
call
to
you
me,
out?
To me, like, what do you want me to say, Brady? I graduated high school. Like, what is that even? Like, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Why would he say? Why did he say you barely finished high school?
Yeah, like that's my thing with Brady is what does that like? Is that supposed to make me feel upset? Like I don't know what that's even supposed to do. I called you an idiot because you want to put money on Illinois plus 1,300 to win the national championship. I said you were an idiot for doing that, and his response is, "Hey, this kid barely graduated." Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even, I can't even like even wrap my head around getting in an argument with somebody like that because no matter what you say, oh well, you got an F in the 3rd grade. Okay.
It feels different every week.
I don't know. I just to me,
especially this game.
sweet dude, great comeback. That was awesome.
I gotta say I love the rivalry.
The 2 people you named, did you know the 2 people he named?
I had no idea who they
Thank
were.
you. Yeah, but if you don't know them, hey, don't fucking talk about don't talk about Big Ten basketball if you don't fucking know those 2 guys' names. I could line up 10 people. I could line up the entire gin house and ask them who those 2 people are. I bet everybody but maybe Monerick would say, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't even think Monerick would know.
Right.
He knows state basketball. He doesn't know fucking.
I mean, the one dude's name was Cockburn, for God's sakes. Cockburn.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess, can you at least take pride in the rivalry, or are you pissed about it?
No, I'm not pissed about it. I'll take pride in the rivalry. The kid's an idiot. I mean, the kid's an absolute idiot.
Washington.
I don't think we dived too much into him. Just touch on him.
Yeah.
Washington and Dallas. I mean, my Cowboys
Lions and
played.
Texans.
My Cowboys played. We talk about that. We talk about the Lions, and Lions have officially fired Patricia and Quinn. That's a little top. This might be a long one. There's a lot to talk about.
It'll be as long as it have to be. As long as we touch our subjects
And we
hit all of our bases, make it flow with a little bit of getting in the weeds. It's going to happen. Get in the weeds a little bit, get a little side conversation. As long as it all flows good.
Right.
With
I mean, if it's going to be 2 hours, it's going to be 2 hours. I mean,
we're men of the people.
We might have to take a break and re-rinse, but
I might go through the Mick. You have to go to Kroger and get another bottle.
So we talk over Patricia Quinn getting fired. Then we go right into Friday. Michigan State gets the win over Notre Dame.
Oh, Saturday.
Who did we play Friday? We didn't play.
I think we played Wednesday night.
Wednesday, yeah. It was Thanksgiving Eve. But I think we can talk about that game once we transition into the Michigan State weekend.
I think we already talked about that game in the other podcast.
We did. You're absolutely right.
So we'll just talk.
We'll talk about
that. Yeah.
So we'll talk about Saturday. Michigan State basketball and football. State gets the win over Notre Dame. We beat the. Were they 9 or 8 in the country? Northwestern. I think they were 9.
I think there were 8.
We can just call it top 10.
I gotta look it up now.
Talk about us beating Northwestern. What to expect from this Michigan State team moving forward? I mean, we've beaten teams we maybe shouldn't have beaten. We've lost to teams who maybe we should have beaten. I mean, it was football. You're on basketball.
What am I doing? There it is.
There were
8.
8. So just talk about that. Talk about good weekend for Michigan State athletics.
Yeah, I'll just put Michigan State athletics, and we can kind of dive into the win over Notre Dame in basketball and the win over Northwestern in football.
How they're playing Tuesday against Duke.
Yeah, just how this team is looking. What are they looking for going forward, both football and basketball? Are we looking for a bowl game? Are we looking for improvements in different areas?
For sure.
Are we seeing any consistency? I haven't seen any consistency yet.
We've seen 0.
Is Mel Tucker, does he have a hold and handle on this team?
Right. So then transitioning from there, are there any other college, I guess, football games you want to talk about on that happened on Saturday?
Nothing really that's notable. I mean, we could sit here and do a whole podcast on NCAA football.
Right. No, I mean,
I just don't
nothing
wanna do
that slapped you right in the face.
Really?
Really. So then let's just transition into the NFL.
Okay.
Oh, no. Tyson fight.
Okay.
Nate Robinson gets knocked out by Jake Paul.
What are you going to touch on for the Tyson fight?
I'm going to touch on the fact that I don't think Nate Robinson can ever walk out of his house ever again. And then the Tyson fight, from the highlights that I've watched, it looked like two geriatric guys just kind of hugging.
Yeah, it was a hug fest.
Like, it wasn't super exciting. Best part of the whole thing was Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the best part of the whole thing. Let's get Snoop. I mean, I think we need Snoop Dogg on the podcast and get him a TV contract. So from there, then we can go into today's NFL. But I think when we talk about today's NFL, I mean, let's just talk about kind of the heartbreak that we had today on a couple parlays. You know, the heartbreak of what went on, what happened. Man, that little fun cough's gonna get annoying.
Okay, yeah, I'll just put heartbreaking parlay. We're gonna dive into each individual scores, or just kind of gonna touch on.
I think we're just gonna just mull it over. Just talk about, kind of broadly talk about
notable games. Maybe touch on the Cam Newton hit.
The Cam Newton
garbage
hit,
call.
Cam Newton hit, how that lost us a parlay. How Kirk Cousins throwing a game-winning touchdown lost us a parlay. And then
even without Adam Thielen too.
Right, and that was without Thielen.
I mean, that was supposed to be the
kind of
the catalyst for not making that game an issue.
Then so I think we talk about today's games. I think we talk about Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes maybe a little bit. Touch on that little rivalry.
Okay.
And then boom,
I'm gonna have the scores and everything on here too.
For sure.
If you want to have it, I'm gonna pull up the scoreboard once I start recording, just to kind of have it. And that's why even in the future, when we were doing like podcasts virtually, it'll help to have, because I'll probably be in my room where I have all the screens everywhere.
Right.
So I'll be able to, kind of analyze. And you have your phone too. Oh, there goes the gin flag. I'm gonna have to get some tax on that.
She'll bet.
Let's leave it there for now.
Then
Scott Van Pelt.
Boom, the big topic of the night, our top Christmas movies. I mean that's what the people are really gonna tune into towards the tail end of the podcast.
Right.
Do we do top 3? Or do we do top 5?
I think we do top 3. Keep it simple. Yeah. I guess, do you want to go over your top 3 right now when we're not on air, or what?
So my top 3 is
start
going
at
to
number
be...
3.
Oh, number 3?
Start at number 3 and tell me number 1 at the end.
Number 3 is going to be How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
What is that noise?
It's a vibe.
It's the heat going.
I'm gonna have to kill that. Okay, just tell me those and then I'll go. Or you can go kill it.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Number 3. Number 2 is gonna be Home Alone, and number 1. No. See, I think we gotta do 5 because I gotta throw Elf in there.
All right, do 5.
So 5.
I gotta write mine down.
Oh man. I think 5 has got to be Elf. 4 has got to be How the Grinch. This is tough. 4, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 3, Home Alone. 2. What's 2? 2, Polar Express.
Oh yeah.
1 is See, I don't have 5. I think I have 4.
We'll just pick another one then.
But for number 1, I mean, number 1's like my favorite. What do you got?
I got 5 number 5 Home Alone, 4 Polar Express, 3 National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 2 Die Hard, 1 A Wonderful Life.
Okay, I'll do number 1 National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Number 1.
So, yeah. So I shut this off. I don't know why that's still going. Is that better?
That's definitely better. I mean, it's workable. Let me see if I can
Pick it up.
Let me see if it's really not going to be that big of a deal, but just for, I'm going for optimal sound quality. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3.
Can you hear it all in there?
I mean, I can definitely hear it in there. This thing picks up everything.
Boom.
All right, we're good. We're good. just leave it.
Stay in there.
I'm going to get you some tax. I might have to invest in some. All right, so we'll end on the Christmas movies and kind of get into to do the Christmas.
Okay,
We'll do the Christmas movie and then kind of wrap it up. Because I think that's going to be, we're loaded. That's 5 topics right there. I mean, if we can get that done in 45, I'm going to be very impressed.
All right, well, let's get after it. It's fucking, I mean, listen, we're rinsed up.
Oh, yeah. We're
There we go.
as rinsed as we can be. Period. Are you ready? Let me ask you that.
Let's get after it. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Do you need notes? Do you need a notebook or something?
Nope.
Are you sure? Okay. Check. Yeah, so just kind of, I mean, your voice projects pretty good.
Check,
so
check, 1 2. Check, 1 2.
You're going to be fine. It's on the optimal setting, so it's going to pick up everything on a 360-degree level.
Okay.
So, ready to go?
Let's get after it.
Let's do it.
Everyone talks about this one pride nonsense that everyone talks about. I didn't see any of that. It's Thanksgiving. You've been playing on Thanksgiving since 1936, for goodness sake. And you go out there, and you want to know what you did? You laid an egg. You laid an egg. Right out of your ass is what you did. So, again, typical Detroit fashion. Good for Houston. I mean, I guess there's really not much to say about that game.
Let's move on a little bit. Washington against Dallas. Washington took the dub 41-16. It had to be a tough one to take it on the nose for your Dallas Cowboys. I know you kind of somewhat gave up hope on them, but I mean they're still your team. How do you feel about that?
We didn't take that one on the nose. We took that one right in the nuts. I mean that was a Jackie Chan swift kick right in the nuts is what that was. Listen, they're not good. Defensively, we're horrible. On offense, we miss Dak. This stout offensive line that everybody says they have isn't showing up. Zeke Elliott looks like he wants to just get his entire face pierced instead of running the football. I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. CeeDee Lamb is kind of the bright spot of that team right now. It's all over the entire field. It's bad. Mike McCarthy looks like he'd rather be stuffing his face full of nachos than out there coaching a football game. I mean, I don't. It's almost as bad as the Lions. It's honest to goodness,
It's close.
Almost as bad as the Lions.
It's really close, and it's just I don't see any fight. I don't see any pride. Like you kind of mentioned with the Lions, the one pride. It's bullshit. All right, we don't see any of it. We don't see any fight. We don't see any fire. And it's sad to see, especially Dallas is now 3-8. Washington's 4-7. I mean, there's really no reason to fight for any of these teams other than just for the fight itself. That should be enough.
Here's the crazy part. So you want to talk about pride. You want to talk about waking up and having a set of nuts between your legs. Okay, if Dallas wins that football game, they're in first place of the division. They're in first place. And to go out there and look that bad when you're playing for first place in the division, listen, just do yourself a favor. I'm sure there's a train system in Dallas. Step in front of one and just get it over with. Because what we're watching out of you guys out there every Sunday is absolutely embarrassing. And I hope you're not charging the people that are going to those games, because to have to pay for what they're watching out there is disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's too bad. And you mentioned that they're first in the division, so I guess they do have something to fight for, right?
Absolutely.
A little bit. Like,
And
I gotta see more than that.
To just go out there and do that.
It's not enough. It's not going to get the job done. Period.
But I do know one thing: they're going to be extremely well coached. So listen, I just think what it boils down to is play defense. Play defense. Okay, get the ball in Rocket Watt's hands. Look for Hauser, running the floor. Look for Gabe Brown. Gabe Brown's look good. Aaron Henry's look good. We're going to be fine. Okay, just play defense.
There's going to be dog fights left, right, and center. So I'm excited, man.
Big game. So what time's tip off?
Tip off is 7:30 p.m. on the 1st.
So big day. Is there a line? Do we have any line on it?
I don't see any lines on this. I don't know if the bookies are just getting cold feet or what's going on, but I'm not seeing any lines for this.
Is this going to be Duke's first game of the year?
It is their second game of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I don't know what's going on, but I can see there being like a Michigan State minus like 8 or minus 12 or something. But the thing is, the problem is with these early games, especially talk about Eastern, talk about Notre Dame, these bettors, even if the lines are 12, 15, the bettors are going crazy, especially if it's MSU. Say it's MSU minus 12.5, and they're up maybe 15, 20 points on Notre Dame with 5 minutes left. You put people like Steven Izzo in there. It brings it down to 10. I mean, it's it's like you're making these guys go absolutely crazy by doing this, because then you got the opposite team, which is a dog shit team, covered by 2.5 points with an 80-70 win on them. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because you're not really counting on a major blowout victory, especially when you're putting YMCA players in there.
I think the big thing that needs to be said about all that is, if I'm Michigan State, if I'm Tom Izzo, if I'm a fan, okay, listen. I understand you want them to cover, and everyone was hooting and hollering and jumping up and down and doing push-ups and sit-ups because Michigan State. I think it ended at 9.5. Was the line for the Michigan State game?
Was it really?
I think it ended at 9.5. So people were freaking out because Michigan State only covered by a half point. But listen. When you have the game in control with 15, 16 point lead, I want to see my guys taken out of the game. I want to see Rocket Watts taken out. I want to see Aaron Henry. I don't want them playing the entire game, because here's what's going to happen. You dickheads that want these guys to play the entire game, someone's going to get hurt in the final minute, 2 minutes, okay? And then you're going to be pissed that they're hurt. And then I'm going to have to shove my foot up your ass because you thought it was a good idea that they play an entire game. So early on in college basketball, listen, be hesitant, be smart, bet with your head, not your heart, okay? And
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
So, and then when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of Big Ten basketball, then we can really start getting serious about, putting money on some lines. Come on now, guys.
It's going to be interesting going down the stretch. Big contest against Duke this Tuesday. Very excited for it. Stay tuned for more information on that. Super excited about it. So we'll see what happens.
Robinson, I'm sure you'll be listening to this. I'm sure you're going to see the video that's going to be put out with me saying this. You should probably lock yourself in your house for the rest of your entire life. What I saw take place was the most embarrassing thing that could have ever happened to you. So, listen. First of all, why even take that fight? Like if I'm Nate Robinson, and what I heard that's even worse about the whole thing, I heard he only made $600 off that fight. That's all I made. $600 to just get embarrassed.
I mean, I don't know what he was doing in the training room. If he was doing, with a trainer, a coach, or whatever he was doing. If he was with, Rocky himself. I don't know what he was doing, but he was missing a lot of things. I saw a lot of that fight, and he came out swinging, throwing a lot of haymakers. There was a big lack of control from the Nate Robinson corner. And it was a lot of control from Jake Paul's corner, which I think really brought him to victory. And it is what it is.
It was one of the, so to me what it looked. So these two were talking shit to each other, forever. Okay, however long this, whenever this fight was announced, they were talking shit to each other. Jake Paul was going to dribble his head off the canvas, which he did. Okay, Nate Robinson was going to put him in a body bag and all this stuff. It looked like to me Jake Paul had actually went out there and trained to box. What it looked like Nate Robinson did is it looked like he got maybe a hula hoop, maybe some jump rope, and just coasted through these months of training. I mean, it looked like he did nothing to prepare himself to get in a boxing ring with somebody and get in a fight. It looked like he didn't do any of that. So, Nate, I want to ask him, are you on foot or horseback right now? Because I don't think he knows.
I don't think he has any idea. And he might still be recovering from that knockout. It was a brutal knockout. They were both good sports about it afterwards. But it was just I don't want to say it was an embarrassing display from Robinson's corner, but it was.
So here's another thing I want to touch on. There's a lot of celebrities and a lot of NBA people that are saying, well, you would never get in the ring with somebody. I mean, you try. Listen, I would never try to do that. I would never out of the blue say, you know what? Let's go ahead and just get in a boxing match. Let's go, because Jake Paul's done this before. Okay, Jake Paul's fought somebody before. He's trained. He's definitely more advanced in the sport of boxing than the average human being. So if I'm Nate Robinson, I would never just wake up one day, scratch my ass, let out maybe a little fart, and say, I want to go box somebody today. I want to go put myself on TV and box.
Well, what it is with a lot of these guys, they get called out by somebody like Jake Paul, which is really pretty much a YouTube sensation, makes some music here and there. Someone with the stature of Nate Robinson being a professional NBA athlete.
Slam dunk champion,
amazing athlete in his prime. To be called out by someone which is somewhat a quote-unquote prima donna at whatever game it is, they're not going to take that lightly, and they'd rather get their ass murdered on the canvas than to get shit talked to them and just let it go. I mean, these guys, they're very stubborn people, especially someone like Nate Robinson. They're like, I got to address this. I got to give the people what they want. So if you got to give Robinson credit anywhere, it's for that. It's for getting in the ring, even when boxing might not be in his repertoire.
Obviously not.
I mean,
it was absolutely embarrassing.
It was, but you got to give him some credit for stepping in the ring, right?
Do you though?
I give him credit. I do.
It could have been as easy as Nate Robinson saying, you know what? I've got my $1 million mansion. I've got my Rolls Royces. I've got this and that. I've got my little, because he does this little TV show where he goes into, people's houses and, NBA guys. I got all that stuff going for me. Jake Paul, don't even know who you are. Okay. I'm good. But.
Well, hindsight's 20/20 though, too, right?
He
probably wishes he would have done that now.
Oh, 1,000% he does. But, everyone's saying, well, go give him credit for, it's like, that's like someone saying to me, hey, Beeper, I want to give you credit for trying to go be an astronaut. Well, it's never going to, I'm not an astronaut. I don't know how to do that stuff. But listen, I guess Nate Robinson, more power to you. I'd strongly recommend to never show your face anywhere, ever. Probably just lock yourself in your house for the rest of your life.
Let's move on to the actual Tyson fight, the main event.
Out for a Jin's Christmas, okay?
That's a big deal.
Be on the lookout for that. So listen, I think, do we want to go 5, like me go you, like 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, like do we want to each
I think
you
give your 5, we'll dive into your 5, and then I'll give my 5, we'll dive into my 5.
Okay, so coming in at a cool crisp 5. Now again, these are tight. Okay, this is about as tight as Kansas City, Tampa Bay today. Super, super close. Coming in at number 5 for me is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, don't get it twisted. Not the cartoon one. That one sucks. Okay, it's the Jim Carrey one. That's the best one. Everyone knows it's the best one. So coming at number 5, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Coming in at number 4, probably one of the greatest movies ever made, The Polar Express. I mean, you can sit there cuddled up with your significant other, boy, girl, dog, whatever it is, whatever your significant other is, with a hot cup of cocoa, watching the Polar Express. And the hot chocolate scene is the absolute best scene in the entire movie.
Undoubtedly.
I don't care what anybody else says. It's the best of the entire movie. Coming in at number 3 for me, a little bit of controversy, but again, there's always controversy surrounding me. Coming in at number 3, Home Alone. Home Alone at number 3. People are going to say, well, maybe that should be higher, maybe that should be lower. Listen, coming in at number 3, Home Alone, great movie. Really a movie that I can even turn on like in the middle of June and still watch.
Oh, 100%. Christmas in July.
I can turn that thing on July 25th. Bink and I get cuddled up in our Christmas PJs, and we sit down there and we watch Home Alone.
100%.
So coming in at number 2, this is where it gets a little dicey. This is, I've changed this up in my head a few times. So coming in at number 2 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's coming in number 2. So we just watched this the other night, okay? And I think the unsung hero of that entire movie, would you say, is Cousin Eddie?
100%. Oh yeah, he is a catalyst in that movie. He not only is a nuisance to Clark and his family, but the Griswold family isn't complete without Cousin Eddie, and he really ties it all together at the end.
At the very end.
Getting the boss in there,
Right.
bringing the bow on there, giving Clark what he
Right.
wants, especially in the dying embers of the movie.
Right.
Morale is low, Christmas is turning to shit, and that just makes everything better. Gets the bonus check.
So, to me though, what is the best scene of that movie?
The best scene in the movie. That's tough, man. There's so many good scenes. My favorite scene has got to be either when Cousin Eddie and Clark are both talking. They're drinking eggnog.
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie's wearing the dickie. Just conversing. It's just the conversation's so funny. This actor, whoever plays Cousin Eddie's unbelievable. Either that one or when Cousin Eddie is in the grocery store with Clark and they're just kind of going through the aisles. Eddie's just stacking the cart with shit.
And he's got the dog food.
He's got the dog food. Clark puts the light bulbs on the bag of dog food, and then what do you know it? Cousin Eddie puts another bag of dog food right on the light bulb, smashes them to pieces. And then that's where Clark kind of goes on to tell him, all right, well, we want to give your kids a Christmas this year. I know you got money's tight,
Right.
But then he does that, and then the best part about that is Cousin Eddie goes, you know what, Clark, I'm gonna get you something really nice, really nice. But the whole time it's gonna be with Clark's money.
Right.
So it's like,
Clark's
oh my
buying
God.
it.
It's so fucking funny.
So
I love those.
that's my number 2. And I flip-flopped 1 and 2 in my head about 47 times. Coming in at number 2 or at number 1 now is Elf.
Really, number 1.
Elf is number 1 for me.
Wow, that's an audible.
Listen, I checked at the line, okay? I checked at the line. I said Omaha 14 times like Peyton Manning, and I went ahead and I threw Elf in there.
Oh my goodness.
It's a classic. Will Ferrell's one of my favorite actors. He does phenomenal in that movie. So many different aspects of that. That my favorite scene there is a snowball fight. So yeah.
Oh, I love the snowball fight scene where he throws the snowball like a mile.
Right.
Oh, baby. I love that scene.
Coming in at number 1 for me is Elf.
Good deal. Good deal. I like that. I like that top 5. A little bit of controversy within there, a little bit of audible action. But I like it. I really like it. Is it my turn to go into my 5?
I'll allow it.
Okay. Oh, thank God. All right. I thought we weren't going to have enough time. I'm running out of gigabytes on my laptop, so I'm worried about it. Let's start off at number 5. Number 5, Home Alone. I love when Kevin takes over the house and just obliterates, what is it, Marv and who's the other guy?
Marv and goodness gracious, he looks like he looks like the baseball player, Hunter Pence.
Yeah. We got to figure this out. I don't care if we're
Okay,
on air or not.
I'm doing some
Figure it
research.
out.
You go ahead and dive
Marv
into it.
and someone else. I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know.
Go ahead.
So am I going further down in my?
Go further down.
I'll go further down on my list. All right. We'll get back to you guys in a little bit with that. Number 4, Polar Express. OG scene is the hot chocolate scene. The whole aesthetic of the movie, just trying to figure it out, is honestly a treasure within itself. Trying to figure out how everything works. There's different forums all over the web to figure that out. But I guess at the end of the day, part of the luxury of not knowing is exactly that, not knowing and always wondering. So that obviously forces you to watch the movie once, twice, if not 10 times within the Christmas season. You got it for me?
So I got it for you. I did my research on my end. Okay, crunching the numbers. So Marv is actually the guy that looks like Hunter Pence.
Okay, all right.
He's
all
the
right,
big, tall, gangly one. Okay, and Harry
Harry
is the short, the one that he slips down. Isn't Harry the one that slips down the stairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Harry.
Okay, Marv and Harry. Keep it noted. So yeah, Polar Express, OG movie, love it. That comes in at number 4. Number 3 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Enough said about that. We dove into that one pretty deep. Number 2, I got Die Hard. All right, Die Hard. Now, I know people are going to say, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. Listen, shut up. Don't want to hear it. There is a lot of controversy in that movie, a lot of action. There's holiday parties. There's Japanese terrorists all over the place. There's a lot of action, but it is nonetheless 100% a Christmas movie, and I will fight you on it.
So I'm very glad you threw that in there because we talked about this the other night. I think it was Thanksgiving we talked about this.
It was.
And we were it seemed like you were maybe a little on the fence, and I said, John,
I just didn't know where to put it.
go with your heart. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
100%.
It's a Christmas movie.
100%. You know, actually, funny enough, my boss listed a bunch of Christmas movies that we're actually going to watch on work time, which I'm very excited about. And Die Hard was one of the ones she suggested.
Wow.
That was a tongue twister. Okay? That was one of the ones she suggested, and I didn't have any thought about it behind it. I'm like, Die Hard. We got to watch Die Hard as a collective, as a section in the on the 10th floor.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for that. But at number 1, I gotta take A Wonderful Life. Very old movie, back I think in the 1930s it came out. Very old movie. I think they remastered it and brought out a colored version. But it kind of just encompasses, I don't want to give up too much of the movie, but it kind of encompasses how much, your life matters and, what everyone would be missing out on if you lost your life or you gave up on your life or, took your own life, whatever. And it puts everything in perspective for you. It's just a really beautiful Christmas movie. So put that one at number 1.
Is that the one that Paulie, it called me and or he wants to have a date night and him and I are watching it?
Yeah, well, we're probably gonna watch it with the whole family.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a big deal. We watch it every time in the Binkowski household.
Because I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but it's heartwarming.
Do I need a box of tissues?
You probably do. At the end, usually there's a scene at the end where it's the end of the movie. It's really heartwarming, and they bring up a bell when it says the end on the movie, and it's just. That's usually when I get a little teary-eyed.
It looks like you're tearing up a little bit.
I know.
Right now.
I'm thinking about that scene, and I'm like, oh
Whoa.
man, I kind of prepare myself every year. I know when it's almost the end, so I'll be like, come on, I'm not gonna do it. I've seen this movie 20 times. I'm not gonna cry. Okay, just not gonna do it.
Right.
Kind of have a little pep talk to myself. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I don't. Depends on what mood I'm in, I guess, or whatever. But I guess nonetheless, I'm a very deep person. So take note of that. But yeah, that's my top 5. I'm gonna lock that top 5 in. I'm very happy with that.
So listen, the people wondered, people asked about it. We gave them what they wanted. Listen, if you're listening to this, we're gonna go ahead and put a post on our either our IG story, our Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Go ahead and tell us your top 5. Okay, go ahead and shoot us what you think is a suitable Christmas movie. Okay. I know people are going to say like A Christmas Story. Listen, that's the most overrated Christmas movie out there.
Get out of here.
So I better not see that on anybody's top 5. Okay, if it is, you might get swiftly kicked in the nuts.
We'll find you. Trust me.
Right, but go ahead, share us your stuff. You guys know how to get a hold of us on social medias. Look for that post. Drop your top 5 in there, and we will we'll have a great conversation about it.
In the description of the podcast, you can stay posted in the loop with all the happenings related to Gin Pros. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone behind the scenes that's helped us out so much over the past couple weeks and, the past couple months even, just to help us do what we do and help us continue to be men of the people, for the people, by the people. So very happy about that and excited for the future. But I'll leave you guys at that. Thank you guys for tuning in to the official Gin Pros podcast. I'm John J. II. Have a great night.
Oh, baby! Come on now!
Damn, it just feels so good. Like it's just like at the end you just know. When
This is good.
Like this is dynamite.
Wow. I would stand up right now, but I might have a slight boner.
I mean,
I have to tuck in a waistband.
I mean, I'd
That's
be
electric.
lying if I said I didn't have one.
That is electric.
That's just like 50,000 volts.
Right in your ass. Wow, that's good shit, dude.
That was good, man. Good shit.
How'd the flag get over there? Is that where it fell?
Must have.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna get that fucking figured out. Hell yeah, dude.
Really good.
That's fucking badass.
I'm gonna save this. I might as well save it and post it before I leave.
That's cat's tits is what that is.
It is.
That's cat's tits.
It's the cat's nips.
I like it.
That's something I can get behind. Oh shit.
What do you think, Brady? Do you like it?